Hey, everybody. Good morning, although it might
Hey
not be morning when
guys,
you see this.
yeah, good afternoon or whatever time of the day.
Yeah, like in the Truman Show, he would say good afternoon, good evening, and good night. We all might
Convenient.
live in that scenario too. I have no idea. Who knows?
Yeah,
Do you ever think about that movie? And
no.
no. I love the short answer. Um,
But I mean, like, we are a dream,
yeah, I
just
mean
like
it
so.
seems that way.
It's like
Um,
people like to talk sometimes about the universe being a simulation, right?
yeah,
And not the only, but the biggest weakness in this whole idea is that there's a concept of being some kind of outside, right? So simulation within some kind of simulator, right?
yeah,
But it doesn't answer anything because then, okay, that simulator, what is driving that, and so on, right?
yeah.
So for me, it's more like a simulation, but without a simulator, self-simulating simulation. There's no
Yeah.
outside to this. That's what I'm saying.
I feel that, and I always think of that like Schrodinger's box analogy and Schrodinger's cat, and then I always go like, yeah, but like there's still this outside of the box, and like what's outside of that, and blah blah blah. It doesn't solve anything. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
there's no solve. That's good though. Life would be
And
boring if we
like
could figure
in
it
in
out.
all of those quantum physics paradoxes, or like fables, whatever you call them, right?
Yeah,
Uh, they use a concept of the observer, but then keep thinking, what the hell is the observer? What is that, right? How does that work? And
yeah,
it's fascinating what can be found, or rather, what can be not found.
yeah. It definitely. I don't know if I'm not smart enough to understand it, but I don't think anybody knows. So like it's just all this like this bullshit where it kind of just goes around and around, and it's like it's almost like smart people doing backflips in front of us. They like, look what I can think up, and look what I can think up, and they're really not able to explain anything outside of their own environment. Like they're just more
Humans are
concepts.
wonderful and fascinating. Somebody can juggle, somebody can do mental gymnastics, somebody has
Yeah,
a dick that's half a meter long, so, so
wish I had
many
that
like
talent.
talents and whatever.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's interesting. It's kind of like
What are your key talents, Nate? What would you say? Or, key characteristics of you as a human being without judgment of what they are.
I would say that my key characteristics, even higher than my art and music, because like the things that inform my art and music would be like I guess my ability to be kind, even though like the world is sometimes not kind. I'm very like I pretty much treat people the same regardless of how they treat me or like what they say or how they respond or like anything that ever happens. I'm pretty much consistent. I think that's one of my biggest strengths is not letting the world tell me how to respond or how to be. I have like
Has
one
that
mode.
always been the case?
Yeah, except for like a brief period in my teenage years. Like I was kind of like rebellious, like rejecting. I think it's normal for anybody to go through that stage, but yeah, I was always that way growing up. Um, I've been this way for most of my life. Yeah,
And I remember you told me that for quite a while you were into kickboxing and stuff.
yeah, and that's the thing. It put me at odds with myself in a lot of ways because I feel like I would feel bad when I hit somebody. So like I would enjoy trying to like there's this game of like where they don't know what you're gonna do and you land a shot and you're like, oh cool, that was like I tricked them kind of and like but then you see the pain on them and you're like, ah, I don't like that part of it. I like the
Yeah.
game aspect of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's something that really shifted at some point for me too. Like I went from being kind of like angry when I was younger to like realizing that like I just because I'm angry or upset doesn't mean I actually want to hurt anybody in return or like
No.
yeah. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of people in the world like there's a lot of like dictators and leaders and stuff where it seems like they're trying to like pass that along to somebody and it's not gonna there's it's not gonna work. It's not gonna help they're gonna die. It's like everything's gonna just keep going how it's gonna keep going. They're not gonna.
I mean, the way I think about it is the same way I think about any emotion, but basically, when our anger is too difficult for our nervous system, for the brain to deal with, then it kind of tries to escape it in different ways. It either suppresses that or it tries to project it. And it tries to project it through violence. And, like, I'm angry and you're to blame. And let me be violent toward this person. And really, the subconscious idea of the brain is that, like, by controlling that, I will change my emotions because I feel like shit and I don't want to feel that. So let me try to control that other human, right? And and again, like, it's not happening on the mental level, but it's very subconscious, right? And I found that I used to have it was hard for me to feel anger in myself or people close to me. And for me, it was usually suppressed and it was very difficult. It would get stuck here and, and it would come out through like passive aggression, like, really sarcasm and stuff like that, right? And when that changed, it became very much easier for me to be angry in the moment, but then it goes through me. And there's like, there's no desire to hurt the other person. And I can feel the anger, but I can also feel other emotions, like including compassion and love at the same time, right? And it was funny, last week there was one guy who some time ago wrote to me about the school crypto project, and I looked at it, and not even the crypto, like some technology. And I looked at that stuff back then, and it didn't make sense to me. So I kind of told him that I'm not interested. And he disappeared, and then he contacted me last week again, and he was trying to convince me that this is a great project, and it still doesn't make any sense to me. And I told him to, whatever, my opinion is this, and I'm not really interested. Right. And at some point he got really angry, and he started swearing, whatever. And I swore back at him, and I just blocked him, right? Because he was being a real asshole to me. And 5 minutes later, he contacted me from another new account, and he was very apologetic because I guess something triggered him in our exchange and whatever. And yeah. I had no problem with him whatsoever, because in the moment he was angry toward me, and I responded in the same way, but it disappeared. Yeah. I have no ill will towards him, and I actually wish him luck with the project.
Yeah, it's weird when you get to that point of letting it flow and then not holding on to it, not holding a grudge. You're not feeling the need to go any further. It's it's over. Yeah. I expressed myself in return. It's done.
Yeah. And sometimes we carry that stuff, we carry the hurt for decades and all of our lives sometimes, right? And the funny thing, I mean, it's really not funny, right? But carrying that hurt hurts ourselves, right? Absolutely. Because we're hurting inside and we carry that, and we get triggered, and it's again, it's not something that we can change, but when that dissipates, life becomes so much easier than when we are full of those old, contractions and stuckness.
Yeah, and it's prompting a lot of stuff in our system that we don't realize. Like when I went through my sobriety journey or whatever, the thing that I was trying to do that forever, and the thing that really made it happen more effortlessly, where it was just it's I just kind of let go of the addiction type of thing instead of forced white knuckling it I gotta quit.
Yeah,
it was forgiving people.
Yeah, starting with yourself, right?
Yeah, starting with myself, and then I would go on these long walks in the woods, and I would actively try to call up people and places and things and situations, all these negative things that I'd been blaming, and I would just say I forgive you, or this situation I forgive you, or this person I forgive you.
Yeah, no, it reminds me of some years ago I took this really awesome, let's call it a meditation course, but you can call it enlightenment course. And basically the idea was that throughout 4 months, they take you through a whole bunch of different types of meditations.
Yeah.
And you practice them for half a week or 1 week or whatever. And one of and not even meditation, but if you will, spiritual practices, whatever the fuck that label means. And
Yeah.
one of them, I forgot the name, but I can look it up later. Uh, but it was based on a story of some guy who lived in New York and was very sick and was going to die, and he carried a lot of like pain, hurt, and blame, and he decided before he dies to, if you will, forgive everybody, and he started this daily practice, when he would think of all the humans in his life that he used to blame, and he would forgive them and feel love toward them and whatever. So, and actually, he got well, and he got pretty happy eventually, and whatever.
Yeah.
The story goes that way, at least. So the exercise was that you create a list of, let's say, whatever, 50 people closest to you, and you try to recall them one by one, and you recall a particular person, and then you make your best to feel love toward them,
Yeah.
whatever the situation was, the circumstance, whatever, and you feel that. And at first, it's really hard, but after a while, it becomes much easier,
Yeah.
and you can actually cover within 15, 20 minutes. You can cover 50 people, 100 people, and you can really feel that, and
Yeah.
it changes you a lot. I actually remember it was a really wonderful practice, which felt really good to go through.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's like I don't know why it's so healing, but it is. I can identify with that story for sure. Like I used to have some kind of like mystery health problem. I'm not sure what it was. I never like really went to get it checked out. I've got a clean bill of health now. Like I've done like blood tests and everything. Like there's nothing supposedly wrong. But before I did that, like I remember I think a couple times I told you I was like, "Hey, I think I'm like dying, but I don't know like what's
Yeah, I
going."
remember.
Yeah, and I was just like it was just like this sickness inside of me. It was like an emotional sickness for sure because
Wow.
once I went through that process, everything started to heal. I even started like looking better for a while. Like everything just got like, I let my diet go. So that's
Yeah.
why it changed. But like, yeah, it changed everything. Um,
Hmm.
I could see the separation between like my like self or like whatever that and then like my thoughts. I could finally see this difference of like, oh, like that's like a thought arising instead of like
Right.
I'm mad. So it's like
Yeah.
I quit identifying with all of it after that process of forgiveness.
Hmm.
And it's like my instincts were telling me to do that. Like whatever it is that tells me to be nice to people, like that side of me was telling me like forgive everybody and you'll get better. It was really cool.
Yeah, and forgive yourself for sometimes being an asshole to other
Yeah,
people. That happens.
that's the hardest one, forgiving yourself. Like we
Yeah,
hold so much shit against ourselves consciously and
big
subconsciously.
time.
It's
Yeah.
insane. I mean, even like
And
even in even in like crypto, like the amount of times I hear people like they're like, "Oh, why didn't I do this?" or why
right.
did I sell that?" or why it's like you can't control any of that stuff. You got to let that go. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's we hear it a, a lot. I hear the thing a lot from like older people about wishing they could like go back to when they were in high school and changing this or that. It's like
Right.
I don't know.
The pain of regret, huh? It's pretty heavy, can be pretty heavy. Do you have any
Yeah,
regrets? Like, do you carry them? Do you feel much of that?
not really. I
Me
used
neither.
to. I used to
Yeah,
have
yeah.
no
Same
regrets,
here. Same here.
and I
It's
enter
kind
into.
of very obvious now that, like, it's a very useless exercise. I mean, thoughts can sometimes come up, like,
Yeah.
blah, 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 but it's like they're about imaginary past that, and they're really totally useless, just
Yeah.
harmless thoughts. So they can come up, and so what, right? All
You
that we
you
have to
helped me
do
with
with
that
is this.
actually.
Yeah.
Like you've helped me with that, and I don't know if you know it because like I've talked to you before about like all kind of stuff, and I remember you telling me one time that like if you're like selling something or like trying to do something like for a project or like whatever in business, like even if somebody literally says like fuck off,
Right.
like that's data. Like you can literally even write that down if you want. Like, hey, called so and so at this date and this time, they said fuck off. Reach back
Right.
out, in 2 weeks or something. Like, and I started looking at everything like that, and like things that would seem like risks or
Mm.
like, oh, if this happens or if I do this move and it goes wrong, I'm gonna regret it. Like I don't think that anymore. I go, I'm
Mm.
gonna learn something. So it's much different. And
You know what? It's like it's closely related to our internal story, right? Because if, like, very commonly, very frequently, when somebody tells us to fuck off or tells us something else, we take this as being against us, right?
yeah,
Like, oh, they did this, and what does it mean? What does it mean? Like, what is my worth? Like, and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, it has nothing to do with you. Like,
yeah,
it's a natural process. You go into the forest and the tree falls down and almost kills you. The tree was not against you.
yeah,
It was just falling down because of the rot, because of the weather, because of blah blah blah, right? And the same, like, the guy tells you to fuck off or whatever else they tell you. It's not about you. It's about all of the stuff that's going on with them. So, but
yeah.
yeah, again, it's not a logical thing. It's not like you can understand this and like, oh, now I understand this, and now it's not a logical thing. It's a thing that comes from inside of you.
Yeah, I like that too. And that's like, so we were talking last week about like these different speakers and like different like motivational people and self-help people and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Jim Rohn, and
Oh yeah.
something I like I like that because a lot of his stuff has that tone of like giving yourself a break, but also like stay on top of things.
Hmm.
He had some analogy about coffee and how like you can either put sugar in it or strychnine in it, and how like you could have a friend, somebody who genuinely loves you, put strychnine in your coffee thinking they're sweetening it, and an enemy putting sugar in your coffee thinking that they're killing you.
Right.
And yeah, and it's not like about he was just kind of making the point where like the real thing to do is watch your coffee, not like
Yeah.
not not try to like control every little thing that happens, but like there's maybe
And
a higher.
you can take that analogy even further, right? Because maybe you take a sip of the coffee with sugar, and your cardiovascular system is messed up, and then you have a like what do you call it, a stroke or whatever, right? And you
Yeah,
die. So it's not really about the coffee; it's about the whole system, right? Like, the
yeah,
way it affects you. It's because of the context in which you currently exist, or vice versa. Maybe you're comatose, right? And you take a sip of coffee with strychnine, and it actually wakes you up
yeah,
and
it does something.
gives you a jolt. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It makes me think of that saying like you're just because somebody helps you doesn't make them your friend, and just because somebody hurts you doesn't make them your enemy. And
Yeah.
I forget I had tweeted that out one time, and you had like an interesting response. I'm trying to remember. You said the real something like the real realization is when you understand that there was never any distance between us in the first place, or something like that. Um, it was. I always thought that was cool. Anyway, we're about wrap up time. We're at 18
Yeah.
minutes, so we should do it. I'm
Good
growing a
chat.
beard, by the way.
Always good to see you. Looking good.
Thank
And
you.
good luck with the
Just
move
help.
to the city. Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting my diet in check. So, all right, everybody, we love you. Doing my weekly outro, outgoing punches. So we love
Nice.
you, and we need you, and we want you in our lives. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.